Hi, this is TK.
And this is Tony. And this is Cozey the Wonder Dog. You say hi.
Cozey Rose.
Now, why is she here, Mama?
She is here because she sat down and she watched the first showing of our first viewing of No One Will Save You,
And she's excited already, as you can see.
the new 2023 Hulu Alien Abduction film that premiered earlier last month. I believe it was September 22nd or something like that. So I wanted to include her because I have a very cute picture of her watching it for me. Cozey happens to love horror movies. She likes the sound effects. And sometimes when Tony's not available, we sit down and we cuddle up and we watch them together. So we are here to talk to you today about No One Will Save You. Again, it was they said it did originally premiere in theaters, and then it went to Hulu. So release dates are funny with films now, so I don't know what happened. I ended up watching it on Hulu the week that it premiered because I'd been hearing a lot of buzz about it. Watched another review of it and watched the trailer, and I was sold. So
Yeah, there's a very talented guy that used to be head of production at the wonderful 20th Century Fox. Remember those? Well, they're gone now because Disney ate them up.
Hmm.
And you know we love Disney.
I don't have a problem with Disney, but everybody else does.
He's still there, working for Disney, and he's got this because they don't make mid-level movies anymore. He's churning them out. He made this one just to dump on Hulu. But I like to bring that up because he's a somewhat talented guy.
Yeah, and he's talented. And so is the director of this film, who is, he's the writer director, Brian Duffield. I've never seen any of his movies besides this one, but when I went and looked at his IMDb page and looked at his filmography, there are a lot of movies out that he's done, including 2020's Love and Monsters, the space film Underwater from 2014. I always wanted to see that one, just never got around to seeing them. But since seeing this movie, which I really, really enjoyed, I am going to go back and watch all the films that Brian Duffield has written and or directed. So No One Will Save You. The plot revolves around this character by the name of Bryn, played by Caitlin Dever, who is apparently well known from a movie called Booksmart, which I've also never seen, but I want to check it out. So Caitlin plays this character named Bryn, who lives alone in this house somewhere, I believe in the Midwest.
Digressing just a bit.
Okay.
Was she in a Twilight movie? As there was some theory on that?
No. I asked about Twilight earlier because Brian Duffield wrote Underwater, and I could not think of the name of the girl that stars in Twilight, who happens to be one of my favorite actresses. But again, my ADHD strikes, and her name, Kristen Stewart. Kristen Stewart happens to be in Twilight. Twilight and Underwater.
Just spouting on my acumen. I remember her name, and I've never seen her in anything because I don't care for her, and I've never seen a Twilight movie.
Well, you need to check out the Twilight movies. You need to check out Personal Shopper. I think that was the name of the movie, which just happens to be
We watched that. Was she in there?
Yeah, she was in there.
That's probably why I didn't like it.
Whatever. She's a really good actress. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Kristen Stewart. We are here to talk about Caitlin. I'm going to hand her over to Daddy because she's a daddy's girl. We're here to talk about Caitlin Dever in this film because she is really good in this film. So, getting back to the setup, the plot revolves around Caitlin Dever's character. Her name is Bryn. She lives alone, apparently, in this big farmhouse somewhere in the Midwest. And she's very socially awkward, as it would appear. First half of the movie, it just shows her day to day. She's a seamstress, and I think she makes a living by maybe making stuff and selling it on Etsy or something like that, because In one of the first few minutes of the movie, you see her addressing some envelopes, struggling to go into town because she's socially awkward. The people in the town don't seem to care for her much.
Yes, that's the big takeaway.
For reasons
Nobody
that
likes her.
Yeah, for reasons that will become apparent later on in the film. So apparently she's a seamstress. She makes a living. She works from home. She lives alone. She's isolated in this town. Okay. Like I said, this is an alien abduction movie. And one of the draw-ins for this movie for me was the tagline. I love a good tagline on a movie. And the tagline for this one, that I saw in the trailer, which was also awesome and very creepy, is that there are over 1.65 million home evasions per year. This one is different. And so that helped to draw me in. For that reason, I love a good tagline.
I didn't know that stat, so that was interesting to me.
Yeah, but like they say, this one is different, and when you see the movie, you'll see why. So, did the plot set up? Where do we want to go next? Do we want to talk about?
Let's
okay.
talk about.
Well, let me finish with the plot setup. So, Bryn lives in this town, socially awkward. No one really seems to like her. We're not sure why. You see her, I think there's flashbacks. She's grieving two people in her life. She's grieving her mother. I think her mother's name is Sarah, not that it matters. And she's grieving a childhood friend by the name of Maud, who apparently died when they were younger. And that's an important plot point. We want to spoil this?
Sure, it's been out a minute.
Yeah, we're late in doing our review, but really enjoyed it. So that is the plot. You want to take it from here?
Let me tell you some of the things I liked. Brevity. Every movie nowadays has to be 3 hours, 2 hours minimum. This was short, tight, sweet. They got in what they wanted to say and got out. I loved it just for that reason. I liked the plot. The aliens were interesting. They have their own weird, strange language. What did you call it? Not body dancing, but
oh, there's a scene in the movie where this alien's doing this weird thing, and I think it's the way the alien calls the spaceships down or something. And it looks like the alien's doing
interpretive dance. That's
but in black churches we call it praise dancing. And if you're a fan of Good Times, which is an old sitcom, African American, centers around the African American family.
Our audience knows Good Times.
Oh, I don't know. Everybody does. We're in a different generation. Yeah. Thelma on Good Times used to do that same type of dance. So that's just a little tidbit that I thought was funny.
Yeah, but they also had vocalizations, which were really interesting. I think the sound design was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about influences. As she said, we're old heads. So the first thing that came to mind when I saw this movie was that old episode of The Twilight Zone with Agnes Moorehead, The Invaders from 1961. This is very similar to that. And in that there is very little, if any, dialogue, and the plots are somewhat similar.
Well, let me say that we don't want to take credit. You didn't watch it first. I watched it first. So shout out to
total disclosure.
Shout out to Nick and Joseph from Fish Jelly. Check out their channel if you haven't already done so. I actually saw their review before I decided to see this movie, and I just love those guys. And I think it's Joseph, who is the one that's like the cinephile, kind of like Tony here, but he has I think a much more better encyclopedic knowledge of older movies. Okay, well, hey, if you're watching Nick and Joseph, we love you guys, or I watch you a lot. So
let's do a trivia challenge.
Yeah, I'll tag you in this video. But Joseph was the one, and I hope I'm not getting them confused, but he's the white one. There's a black and white, and I think Joseph's the white one, the cinephile. But he was the one who said that this episode reminded him a lot of the Twilight Zone episode that Tony just mentioned with Agnes Moorehead, where there is no dialogue in that Twilight Zone. It's the original Twilight Zone, 1961, I believe.
Yes.
Second season, I think you said. And so if you haven't checked that out, you should check it out, because apparently, and I haven't heard Duffield or anybody affiliated with the film say this, but it would appear it's heavily influenced by that particular episode. And as he said, there's very little dialogue in this movie. There's actually only 5 words of dialogue in this movie spoken. And the movie is so good and so engaging until it took me more than halfway through the movie before I realized, hey, there's no dialogue in this movie. So I just wanted to kind of interject there.
Yes, and may I add an asterisk onto her interjection? If she had asked me and I had seen this first with her, I would have brought up that episode.
Okay, well, you didn't. I watched it one night when, one of my insomniac moments or whatever. So, yeah, so like you said, the movie's short and sweet. The story's really tight. This movie, I would say, is, and I hate to say this because I love Jordan Peele. This movie is what Nope should have been. The Jordan Peele.
Good point.
Yeah,
good point.
I think it's what Nope should have been. Alien invasion. By the end of the movie, I don't know how much we want to give away. Not really sure why the aliens are here. You're not really sure if they are their intentions are malevolent. That's the bad one, right? Malevolent.
That's the bad one.
Malevolent or not, but they come and they invade this town, get her one night when she's alone. She takes them on, and they kind of like possess people.
There are little critters that they release that go into people's bodies, circa, or somewhat like, I should say, Alien. A small influence there. Another big influence I should mention would be Close Encounters. There's a lot of that going on.
Mm-hmm. Close Encounters, and I would also say Signs. I saw a lot of the M. Night Shyamalan Signs. No, there was another one I think called First Contact or something. I can't remember. There's another one that this movie reminded me of with the aliens, because they do have a point where they show what happens to her when they take her up in the ship. Not to give too much away. I mean, we know it's an alien movie, so. This movie was really good. I loved everything about it. If I remember correctly, I even loved the soundtrack. It was just a surprising little gem. I've never really been a big fan of alien movies. I've never seen Close Encounters in its entirety.
Blasphemy.
I've never seen it because I've always thought alien movies were kind of boring. But this one is really good. It's really creepy. The creatures, the aliens are original. And they even have some personality. I mean, like I said, the movie's not real clear by the end what their intentions are.
If I have any dislikes, it would be that the ambiguity of the ending, but overall, yeah, I liked it.
Most people like the ending. I wasn't a big fan of the ending either, but it was different. It is a different movie. But so if you get a chance, check it out. Like I said, we're like about 3 weeks late in doing the review, but I did want to get one in there because we liked it, and so did Cozey.
Cozey loved it. Look at her. Oh my gosh, she's so excited.
So is there anything else?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. Watch it. I would have paid a movie ticket to go see this.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, I guess we can do ticket or streaming, but yeah.
It's just streaming, but it's out there.
Yeah, it's a dual release. Originally, apparently it was originally released in theaters. I didn't hear anything about it. So, but got to see it on streaming. You have a choice to I think the only choice now is to stream it. So, if you get a chance, check it out. Spooky season is here, as they say. I still hate that term, but hey, that's what everybody's
I'm not using that. It's Halloween, baby.
Okay, so yeah, Halloween spooky season. It is a good late night watch, Netflix chill, whatever people do now. It is a really good movie. Short, sweet, tight plot, good performance. I got to give it to Caitlin Dever. I'm not really familiar with her because, again, I haven't seen Booksmart. But
it's hard to handle or be the prime person in an entire movie and hold it up like that. She did a good job,
especially with no dialogue. A lot of the stories told by her facial features, and she does a very great job of conveying that.
Right up there with Agnes Moorehead.
Yeah.
If we're lucky, this might come out on physical media. I don't know.
It might. I mean, it's a really good movie, and it was a. I think I guess people are still using the term sleeper hit.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people liked it, so I wouldn't doubt if it'll be on physical media. So that is it for our review of No One Will Save You. If you like this, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification button so you can get more content like this. And we will see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Say bye, Cozey.
Bye-bye, Cozey.
Bye bye.
Cozey, say bye-bye.
Mm.
Cozey.